Hello and welcome to episode 43 of Sage Street Podcast. Today's a bit different due to the fact that Nathan isn't here. Where is he? I've no idea. Today we have the lovely Sam who's filling in for Nathan.
Hi.
Until he is feeling up to it. Hang on.
Where is
We've
he?
had
You
Sam
don't
on
know.
here before and she was eager, chomping at the bit to return. My name is Lee, as always. And hi Sam, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you.
all
How
good.
are you?
Raring to go, as always, Sam. I can tell. I'm fine. I'm fine now. As many people across the country, I had coronavirus. So that's basically the next. I'm just going to explain. We've not been on for a month because we've both, myself and Nathan, we've both been ill. At the beginning of that time, I had coronavirus. Holly brought it home from school. That's what we're like 100%.
Those kids, God, those gym gremlins.
I don't know, licking each other, the tables,
Innit?
sharing sandwiches. I don't know what they're doing. Sniffing eyeballs, what kids do these days.
Yeah.
Whatever they do for a bit of fun. What are you doing? Oh, so what does blue smell like
By
these
the
days?
way, I've just given you COVID. Lol.
Sorry about that. Lol, and then an emoji, probably.
Yeah,
because that's how they do it. I see too many emojis, I delete the chat. I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. That's what happens when you hit 42. You don't want emojis. You want an actual sentence.
You're
And
42?
it's
Wow.
like I am 42. Yeah, 25. I say someone at work. Someone at work came into our little working area that we don't normally talk to. She came in and we were saying hi and whatever. And I said, because we had some music on in the background. And she goes, "Oh, I love it up here with the music because they don't have music in their area." And I know, well, this is where it's at. I was like, "You got to be in here." We was all messing about. I says, "So what music do you listen to then? What would you have on the radio?" Just because we were chatting. She goes, "I like a bit of R&B and a hip hop." And I was just like, "Oh yeah, you go girl, because that's my genre.
Yeah.
R&B, hip hop, rap. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, not all of it, but a lot of it."
Yeah.
I love pop, and my music is very eclectic. I like a lot of music, but if I had to choose a specific sort of genre, that would be it for me. And she's like, "Oh, do you? You wouldn't look like it." And I went, "Why? Is it because I'm what?" I just went, "Is it because I'm slightly older than you and white?"
Yeah.
And she just looked at me. I went, "You're so racist." and she got really embarrassed. I mean, she was white herself. She got really embarrassed, and she's like, "No, I didn't mean that." I went, "Well, you just got to
Well,
be
clearly you do. Clearly you do. Clearly that's what you were implying.
And I went, "Yeah, I've been listening to that music for years." I went, since like the mid-90s. And she went, "How old are you?" I went, 42. She went, "You don't look 42. I went, "You are my new best friend." And I was looking at David across, and I went, "You don't want David's music?" And she went, "Oh yeah, it's that stuff that sounds all the same." And I went, "Metal music?" She went, "Yeah." And I was like, exactly.
Oh, that's offended me.
So David loves his metal music, but a lot of the stuff he listens to, he had like a Spotify playlist. A lot of it sounds the same, and that's coming from someone who I enjoy listening to various music. But it was just like, even I turned around to him and said, "Has your playlist restarted several times? Because it all sounds..." And he's like, "It does a little bit sometimes." Even he admits it. Sometimes it sounds the same. But yeah, metal music. So my new best friend who likes R&B, hip hop. So I had coronavirus.
That was a massive tangent, dude.
Jumping back a month, I had coronavirus, and it sort of knocked me out for. I think it was about 3 days. I was because I've not had the vaccination. Well, I say I've not had the vaccination. I know someone that has had vaccination and had coronavirus, so that's irrelevant right now. But I was very ill for like 3 days. I was shaking, couldn't walk. My breathing has been fine, which was always a worry because I'm asthmatic. So I was like, if there's ever going to be a problem that's going to affect me, it could be that breathing side of it. But still managed to breathe, so that's a good one.
Good.
Karina was also ill after that.
You said it was your sense of smell and taste that got affected?
After, yeah. So when I was like, "Oh, I'm feeling loads better."
Sorry, just going to interrupt you. The last podcast I guested on with you, I'd actually just got over COVID myself. We had a massive chat about it on that one as well.
I believe so, yeah. And that was a while ago. You had it very early on, didn't you?
I had it at the start of the year, yeah. And
Yeah.
you and Nathan were saying, so what's it like then?
Exactly.
Did you die?
We were dipping in. Is this you? Yeah, what's happening?
And now you both know.
Yeah, but the thing is, we both had sort of different experiences with it, and probably different to yourself as well. Like I say, I felt so like once a year. It's like I have a really bad cold, and it sort of knocks me out for a few days, and it felt just like that. That's all it was. I felt like it knocked me out for a few days, and then I recovered, and I was like, oh, that's just like my cold. I haven't. Oh, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But a few days later, now Karina likes, you know, that cream soda fizzy drink. Karina likes that. I hate it. I hate the smell, the taste. If I have to drink it, I would do, but I'm not the biggest fan of it.
Okay. Is it too sweet for you?
There's something about it. Yeah, something's just weird. It's like weirdly artificial. I don't know what it is. But anyway, she poured herself a drink. And I think about cream soda, it's so very strong in smell. So she'd picked it up and she'd just gone, oh. And she's kind of looking at this receptacle in her hand, like, oh, I don't think I can smell it.
Where is this familiar odour?
Yeah, so she gave it to me, and I was like, I can't smell it. I cannot smell it. Yeah. And it was at that point. The funny thing is, we kind of lost our sense of smell and taste at the same time.
Yeah. And it's so weird as well, isn't it? It literally just stops.
Yeah, I think it affected me like psychologically worse than lying on the settee and not being able to move.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And that it sounds weird. It's like, yeah, but you were dying on settee, and I was like,
yeah.
But...
I mean, going back to the spring when we did the podcast, and I was telling you of my symptoms, the losing your sense of smell and taste, anosmia, as we call it.
Anosmia, yeah.
Is
good word.
Absolutely horrific. And for me, I lost it in January. I didn't fully get it back until about March.
That's hilarious. Mine went away after like a week and a half or so.
And then, yeah, but even then, and now, I can still smell and taste chemicals.
Right. Yes, I've heard that. It affects the way that you receive the senses. Yeah. It's an odd one.
I can smell and taste like ammonia in bakery products, and it's like my normal shampoo that I use
that you regularly smells.
It just smells like it's gone off, and it's
like you go to the bathroom and
it's
still there.
But it's like it's so weird to describe. I can only describe it as gone off shampoo.
Yeah.
And I've never smelt gone off shampoo before, so
no, I don't think it even does it? Because it's the kind of thing that if it was like if we had an apocalypse in 100 years, you found shampoo, you'd be like, well, this is always going to be
this
okay.
Is banging. This is still
loaf
going.
of bread. No, that's long gone. Shampoo, that's fine. My issue, my quirk to my anosmia was salt. So Paige had given me a piece of pizza. I was clearly not even bothered what I was eating at this point, because I was like, just give me anything. I don't know, because for me, 90% of food is being able to smell and taste it.
Yeah.
So I've been given this like piece of pizza, because I love pizza. It's like one of my weaknesses. That chocolate, cheese, bread. Yeah, it's just all that good stuff.
Pizza or peas?
Pizza.
Pizza.
Hey, pizza. None of those.
So I think you said peas.
Yeah, peas. Just a bag of peas.
I fucking love peas. I do. Like,
I'm a fan. I'm not going to complain about peas.
I would actually boil up a portion of peas and just eat them because
that's going too far, Sam. 100% going too far.
I would.
But yeah, no. Mushy or garden on your fish and chips?
Garden.
God, mushy. Has to be mushy. Although I'm okay with garden, but to be honest with you, I don't like the way it's like you chase them around.
I don't. I like mushy peas, but I really like them with mint sauce.
Okay.
And at this time of year. So.
Yeah, goose fair all over, I know.
Yeah.
So she gave me this piece of pizza. Let's say it now. Piece.
Slice of pizza.
Slice of pizza. That actually is better descriptive, isn't it? Slice
really
of pizza.
Is.
And I'm like, oh, it's cheese and tomato, which is my favourite. So I'm like, and I'm like, okay, can't taste it, not really. But then all that came flooding through was salt. So it was for a very short period of time. Everything I would eat, I could taste the salt, but not everything else, and that was terrible because I am not a fan of salt. You know how some people, you give them their dinner and they're like
salt.
They're just like,
yeah.
You have a salt shaker. It's like they take the lid off and just. Amy's like that. She pours it all over. I don't know how she puts so much salt on. Yeah. If someone puts salt in the dinner, you can see the salt. That's too much salt. Like, I'm like, we have a salt cellar thing, and I'm just like crack, done. Amy's like, Dinner's going cold at this point.
Yeah.
She's like, my wrist is
It's
killing
just
me.
like a fucking snow-covered mountaintop.
Exactly. The peaks of salt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I could taste salt and it was terrible then. But it's back now, so
Cool, good.
praise the Almighty.
And Nathan
science.
is still struggling a little.
So no, I think he's more or less back on track now. I didn't message him yesterday. I've been asking him every day how he is, but I didn't speak to him yesterday. But he was so it knocked him off. So he has a physical I don't want to say disability, but he has like a thing. It's a thing. I don't know the right word. It's a condition, maybe condition, where something to do with his immune system, and he's very worried about getting it because it could affect him quite seriously.
Yeah, he's got a shitty immune system, basically.
Yeah. So luckily they didn't kill him. He's still around. It's always good not to die. But his breathing was affected quite a lot, to the point where he was on the verge of calling the hospital.
Yeah.
He actually felt like, I'm struggling and it's an effort.
Is he asthmatic?
No. I want to say no.
Yeah.
But it was like, it just affected him to the point where he was close to ringing the hospital. But then I think he just basically started to get a little bit better. So he's hopefully we'll be back on track. We've got some plans for episodes and a big change at some point as well. We're flipping stuff around and we're hoping to get this
exciting
better.
Times.
Better.
Exciting
Better.
times.
Bigger is better.
Yeah, that's what she said.
She didn't. She was happy. Right. So today we've decided on covering a short section of news because there's some bits and bobs I wanted to mention. But then we're going to do our back in time. Sam, I left it up to you to pick the year and the month, which
and I don't think you were impressed with me.
Not at all. We'll come on to it more in a little bit. It'll be in the title of the video or the audio podcast anyway, so you'll know what it is already. But we'll talk about it, why it was horrendous as a choice and why it was okay as a choice in a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's jump on to a little bit of news. Recently, Facebook has they've changed their parent company name to Meta. I believe it's Meta. And they are now promoting and pushing the metaverse.
I didn't even know Facebook had a parent company.
I think it's there as a whole. I don't think Facebook isn't changing, but they've changed. It's like they're changing their company name to like Meta.
Right.
Now, if I say to you Meta or Metaverse, what does it say to you? Or does it say anything? I did say the other day, have a little look at Metaverse and see what. Give me some feedback. No, you didn't. Okay, no worries. Right.
I don't remember. I'm sorry, dude. I don't remember you asking.
No problem.
Me.
So, we are already kind of in the metaverse, but only the addictive social media sort of side to it. So, imagine the real universe as in, right, let's just jump back to like 80s, 90s. That was like the standard, our standard universe sort of experience, because everything that we see and do is very physical. We walk around a lot. You want to see a friend, you give him a quick call on the phone. Are you in? No, whatever. He's quick. It's quick as it's very basic. Mm-hmm. But it's also it's based in that kind of like reality. And it's been like that for thousands of years. Yeah. Now, with the advent of the internet and more importantly, I'll say the advent of social media, mass social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, just to mention those three, which are obviously three of the biggest ones. I'm not about I'm not about things like WhatsApp and stuff, because that's just basically text messaging, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm thinking more on a grander scale. So we're going from this real practical universe and heading into this metaverse of, it's like a fake, false, disconnected from reality. Twitter, I'm not going to go off Twitter for one. Twitter for me is very disconnected from reality, because what you'd say to people
is longer than
face-to-face,
150 characters.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think they made it so you can do more now, haven't they? But what your physical environment and what you do, or what you'd say, more importantly, what you'd say to people face to face, is very different to what you would say to people on Twitter, because people just say what they want. So it's like this little fake mini digital universe.
Can you imagine being in ordinary conversation where things like saying, "Oh, hashtag lol," and at blah 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 is normal? It's
it's odd, but people can be very.
It's a completely different language.
Yeah, and people can be very rude and very abrasive and very very like, oh, I've got this thought, I need to share it. In reality, you don't. Shut the fuck up. Keep it to yourself. No one cares.
Everyone thinks the internet was invented for opinions, but
for them.
Exactly. It just wasn't. So.
I mean, I have a good friend of mine I met through work, and he often posts on Twitter. And some of the stuff, I'm like, I've never seen you, or I've met up with you, and you've never come across and said anything like that to me. I never got the impression that that's the way you were. And then they're like, I'm not just like, it's odd. So is the metaverse also, the metaverse is, so you're going to be able to create a digital self, like you would in World of Warcraft or any game where you'd make this digital character.
Yeah, but just me is enough for the world.
So you'd have this presence. Yeah. So you'd have this digital presence. So it shows. It shows somebody creating this.
Does that mean in a few years' time from now I can totally dress up as Princess Leia and be all, "Help me, Obi-Wan, you're my only hope"?
in the metaverse. So you'd be putting on a headset.
Yeah.
You'd be plugging in, and you'd suddenly be like, "You're Princess Leia."
Yeah.
That could be your image. Maybe maybe you could be Princess Leia with a twist, something
God.
different. Maybe a cyborg. Princess Leia. But of course, what you'd be doing is you'd be like, I want to be. So this is another element of it. You want to be Princess Leia, but you have to look like Princess Leia with the dress, with maybe you've gone slave Princess Leia, and you want the full on.
She wasn't a slave when she came out with that line, mate.
With the chains and the sitting in front of Jabba the Hutt. So maybe you want to be like that, but to be like that, you're going to have to either make the costume yourself with software and put it on a marketplace, or you're going to have to purchase it off some guy, a very talented young man in Thailand who makes them and sells them for £1.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing. It's so you're going to create a character, enter the metaverse, then buy products to enhance your character. But then suddenly you're in this. It's like
it sounds like Second Life.
It's very It is a very massive. What was that? What was that film? Not Ender's Game. I've just forgotten what it was. What was the one where he put on the headset and he would? Oh, why have I forgot what it's called?
Scott Pilgrim.
Oh no! Right, I'm not going to edit this out, but I am going to sort of Google it. Not Ender's Game. Oh, I'm so stupid.
I don't know. I has a new idea.
Not the Matrix.
But yeah, from what you're saying, it actually does sound a lot like Second Life.
I can't remember it. Why am I so stupid?
You got a serious answer to that?
Wait, I think it is Ender's Game. It is Ender's Game. I just thought it was something else. Ender's Game. So there's like a fortune, and they have to find the eggs in this this online universe. Just amazing idea of being not you in a digital realm, buying digital products, selling digital products, providing digital services. Maybe you're a good lap dancer, so you've got to then you might have like a full bodysuit. So you could portray your lap dance into these nerds who are sitting in the bedrooms or whatever, in the basements. The stereotypical nerd in a basement. And it's like you're just creating this. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But I also think it's.
And this is something Facebook are doing. You say.
Facebook they're definitely not pioneering it, but they are pushing it as a new thing that they're going to be. Developing more and more and more and more.
Also, it sounds a bit like Black Mirror as well. What's going to go wrong?
Yeah, all the different episodes that they have where it's like, that's a bit weird.
Yeah. I really enjoy Black Mirror actually for that reason.
I need to watch more of it.
It's good because I totally see many of the episodes actually fucking happening if we keep going where we're going with technology. So it's like spookily kind of accurate, I think.
And I think this is why there's more and more communities that are throwing it away. They're going, we don't want this anymore. They're
possibly it's also
buying
scary.
a field.
It's scary.
Buying a field and living in a cabin.
Yeah, that's my dream.
I'm down for it.
That's my dream, seriously.
But I'm down for it, but my head also goes, yeah, but I also want the internet. And then I've got, oh no, I broke it already.
No, not really.
An hour's access a day.
An hour's access a day to catch up with your socials and do what you need to do, and then you put your phone down or your computer and get on with the rest of your day.
You pick up your axe, you slaughter
for
the
people
chicken.
our age, like people our generation, I don't think that's going to be an issue at all. But our kids, I don't think they'd survive. I really don't.
No.
I really do not.
Going off that, someone at work, their phone's broke, and I got to work and they said, "Oh, Lee, you're really clever, aren't you?" I went, "Yes." And I went, I actually said, "Sometimes yes, sometimes no." And she gave me a phone. She went, "My phone's broke," and I looked at it, I went, "It's an Apple."
Yeah.
And she went, "Yeah." I went, "I don't do Apple," and I don't. I've tried to fix or sort out Apple products before, and I've just stared at them and been like, I don't know what to do with it. I'll look up searches. I try and fix it, and I've never had a lot of luck with Apple products. So I just went, "You have to deal with yourself, sorry." And she looked a bit sad, and she went, "Okay, no problem." They tried to do like hard resets and stuff on it, and it just wasn't working. So it was clearly fucked. I think it was just beyond fixable, maybe, unless you were like, unless you really know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think it needed plugging into a PC with iTunes to actually diagnose it through that way, which I know fixes a lot of that stuff. But unfortunately, I haven't got iTunes, and nor am I willing to install it on my computer because it's terrible.
Yeah, no, we're not Apple users here, so.
No, I've got Spotify.
Well, apart from the oldest, Ari.
Right, Paige and Holly both have iPhones, but they're like hand-me-down ones from the grandparents, and there's like they always have like the latest one, and then they've just been giving them the phone, which has been great. But yeah, so she's like, the first day she's like, my phone's not been working for a day or so, and I feel lost. Anyway, I saw her a few days later, and she went, "I still not got my phone, but I've got my upgrade coming in a few days." And she went, "You know what? It's really nice." And I'm like, yeah, she's been forced to stay off her phone, and she's realised that she doesn't need her phone.
Yeah.
But she's had to go cold turkey for a few days
to realise that.
to fully realise it.
Yeah.
But she's probably grown up. How old is she? She's like 29.
I'd say she's still within our generation then.
Yeah, but I'd say she's probably had a phone since, if we just say, let's say 18. Maybe she could have had a phone for 18 years. You never know. Easily 18, 19 years from when she was little, going to school or whatever. Depended. But yeah. Cyberpunk 2077, which had so much promise and I was really looking forward to, has been absolute mess. Have you seen? Do you know anything about Cyberpunk?
I know of it. I am a big gamer. I know it's a game, and one that everyone was looking forward to. And I know it did abysmally on release. So yeah, what do with that?
Well, the thing is, if you had a super powerful PC, I'm on about like £3,000 worth of PC, often your experience wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's a massive failure for a PC game, because as a PC gamer, yourself as well, we expect to be able to play brand new games, but we tweak them. Maybe we turn down that setting, and you make it acceptable.
You don't want to go out and buy a whole new fucking build just to accommodate one game.
Exactly.
100%, I get it.
But
the game should accommodate people's systems.
Yeah, they should be able to say, "Oh, you got a shit PC, you can play it."
Yeah.
But you won't get the best experience. Or you've got a mid-range. Anyone with a mid-range PC should be able to experience PC games to the full extent.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And if you've got a good PC, take advantage of the little bits and bobs which you might not really sort of care about anyway. But of course they failed on release. It was a big shocker. Hilarious videos of all the stuff that was going wrong with it. I watched quite a few of those actually. And then they'd update it and break it again, which was even better. CD Projekt Red, they're actually accusing, people are saying now they're a one-trick pony, and that The Witcher 3 was their was their one-hit wonder.
It was just then
Yeah.
job done now.
Yeah, so you had Witcher 1, Witcher 2 weren't brilliant, and then 3
Wild
was like
Hunt was really good. Yeah,
they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it.
Yeah.
Beautiful game. I played a few hours of it, and I feel I really need to probably play it.
I haven't. Like I've played 10 minutes of it, and that was when Geralt is training Ciri at the beginning.
Which is a fun bit. I do quite like.
And
that bit,
it didn't grab me at the time, but I will go back to it.
I feel it's a bit like it's a Skyrim sort of game in terms of it. I think it will last a while, so you could just pick it up and play it.
Yeah.
Probably just get on with it. But they've now said that all the free DLC, updates, and the improvements, they've all been pushed into 2022. Whether they're using the excuse of coronavirus or not, I don't know. But all the new content and fixes were supposed to be coming this year. But it's just one slap in the face after another with Cyberpunk, and I just feel bad for them.
Sounds a bit like WoW, to be perfectly honest. World of Warcraft, which I don't play anymore because I feel like they did destroy it with the last expansion. Thank you.
Right. Okay.
And it took them 6 months after releasing their latest expansion to start releasing new content in that expansion.
Okay.
So updates and so on and so forth, and people just got pissed off, waiting forever for new content.
So did the player base just like drop straight off?
Yeah. That and Blizzard haven't done themselves any favors lately with being in a lawsuit.
There was something to do with abusive
sexism and sexual misconduct.
We need sexism.
Sexual misconduct in the office.
Oh,
towards
well,
women.
Thing is though, is that I haven't looked into it, but is it a case of it's that acceptable misconduct, which isn't really misconduct?
No, none of it is acceptable in my opinion.
So I haven't looked into it because you get those people that
straight up misogyny,
straight up bad, straight up right,
straight
okay.
up misogyny, lad culture.
Oh, that's
guys,
bad. Yeah,
guys,
lad culture
guys were coming to work pissed, drunk.
Oh.
And leering on the ladies. One lady has even claimed rape, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah. So that kind of bad. And this was a 2-year investigation by the state of California, and it's now going to court.
Wow. So it's not even a case of it's a bit laddie, it's a bit laddish.
No,
we're not unhappy with it. It's like through the roof.
Yeah.
That's actually that's pretty bad.
Yeah. So
I'll have to have a look. I'll have to have a look.
That controversy combined with how shit the last WoW expansion was for a lot of players. Yeah.
So they're dead to you.
Blizzard and they're not having a happy time of it. And
they're dead to me.
Well, I've been a long time WoW player, and I think it's just fizzled out for me now anyway. So
it's a real shame.
Yeah.
It's a real shame. So you like Stardew Valley, don't you?
I love Stardew.
I want to be able to play Stardew and enjoy it for hours and hours and hours, except I always play it for an hour and then forget about it. I'm guilty of doing that at least 5 times.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it's more than that. But I'm just going to say 5 because it makes me feel better. The developer is creating a new game, and it's called the Haunted Chocolatiers, and there's a link in the doc if you want to have a little look.
It sounds so good.
It looks
like Stardew,
very similar to Stardew.
Yeah.
It's even to the point where I think it's probably using a lot of the same assets. If
Stardew,
you look at that
I think Stardew has done as massively well as it has because of its poor graphics.
Of course, you'd say poor, but you'd say visual style.
Visual style,
yeah. I think it's also done us a bit of a favour because it's reminded us that it's okay to play a game
with
and
these
just
graphics and just enjoy it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You don't need your RTX. You don't need all the rest of it.
This was us gaming like 20 years ago.
Yeah, you look at this and I'm like, this could have come out on a Mega Drive.
Yeah.
Or maybe several Mega Drives strapped together for a bit of extra power.
Shove it in front of our kids now and go, this was my gaming experience so many years ago. Enjoy.
It looks like old school Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
This is what this looks like. That like those all the other Zeldas that came out.
Yeah.
It kind of has that vibe.
Yeah.
But Haunted. It's called Haunted Chocolatier, cute Simba chocolate shop. I like chocolate, so I'm down. Not much is known about the game yet, other than you run a haunted chocolate shop and go on adventures to collect ingredients.
But why is it got to be haunted?
Why?
That said in Stardew Valley, your grandfather is dead, and he comes back and talks to you in your sleep.
Did he have a chocolate shop?
No.
Maybe he opened one.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
I'm bored. I'm having a chocolate shop. But yeah, it looks really good, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it brings. Does it? Very quick looking. Seeing if it says anything about. And it doesn't say anything about when it's coming out. There's no commitment to a release date, which is fine because that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Give us a few screenshots, give us a bit of video, and then.
Also, from what I know, and I could be wrong, this is something I read. The guy that made Stardew Valley, obviously it was a massive success, and he was able to get his own team in to work on another game.
Concerned Ape, I believe.
Concerned Ape, that's it, yeah. So, from what I know, that team was working on another game, but he was still working on Stardew himself.
He did say, though, he'd finished with it. I'm sure he said he'd finished with it.
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But, I mean, if he's... Yeah, I mean, Haunted Chocolate Shop. Maybe that's where it's at now. So
That's the next Twitch mega hit, that is. 20,000 people streaming the same game.
I'm definitely going to give it a go.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I've been playing the game, just going off this, what I have been doing. Two things I've been doing. We'll get back into the news in a second. I've been playing Terraria, or some people call it Terraria. I think it's supposed to be Terraria, but I always call it Terraria. I've been playing with Paige.
Yeah.
And over the last couple of weeks, I've racked in over 30 hours playing with it, and we've gone from start to finish in the game.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing. Just some people aren't a big fan of Terraria, but I love it. I think, personally, it's easily in my top 10 games ever made.
Yep.
It is absolutely amazing. You start off, you're just a dude with some crap weapons, and you end up being able to fly in a UFO, killing everything on screen with a gun that shoots jelly. It's just that kind of...
Yeah.
It's that, I say jelly, it's like gel, but it's that kind of thing. You go from nothing to... If someone showed you an initial screenshot or 10-second video clip of the first 10 minutes or whatever of that game, that then showed you what's happening at the end, you go, that is a different game, because it is so... I think it's better than Minecraft, personally.
I haven't played either.
Right, I'm going to be honest, you have missed out. You've definitely not missed the beat. Or you could easily pick up Minecraft and play and have fun. Better with friends, but okay on your own.
Yeah.
That relates to a lot of things.
My recent gaming venture is Valorant, which is completely different.
Right, I'll mention just the one more game I've been playing, and then you can tell me a little bit about Valorant. I've been playing the game. I've just played a game. I downloaded it yesterday, and it's amazing. And I think I'm going to play it until my fingers bleed. It's called Unpacking.
Oh my god!
Now you've moved a few times, so you will understand this game. So you start off, if you can right now, just Google Unpacking game just to get a screenshot.
Is that literally what the game is about?
It looks like you've moved house, and you have this. It provides you with this isometric view, but it's 2D in a sense of you can't rotate it around or anything. It's just what you have.
Unpacking is a game about the familiar experience of pulling possessions out of boxes and fitting them into a new home.
Yeah.
Part block fitting puzzle, part home decoration. You are invited to create a satisfying living space while learning clues about the life you're unpacking.
That's what I'm saying. Who don't want to do that? So, the first one was a 90s bedroom, and I'm just like, come on.
Whoa! That actually sounds pretty cool.
I had a 90s bedroom, so I want to look at this 90s bedroom. And it provides you with this very simple looking, there's no PC desk, but there is on the 2000 one that you get later. And it's like, here's a football. What shall I do with it? Or here's a teddy bear, and I put all the teddy bears on my bed.
Yeah.
And then you can open... The thing is as well, you don't realise straight away, but you can open the drawers, and you can open the cupboards.
It's 15 quid.
Yeah, maybe have a word with Terry. He might be able to find it for you. There's so there's these 5 teddies, and I'm like, what am I going to do with them? I'm like, I'm going to put them on my bed.
Oh, and it was literally only released yesterday as well.
Yeah, it's so good.
2nd of November this year.
it's so chilled out. You can literally, because when I'm playing the games, I'm like this.
I'm going to put it on my wish list.
Yeah, so I sit forward like this when I play games. I'm like that.
Yeah.
But this one, you can kind of go.
Yeah.
And just use your mouse.
Yeah.
Just,
that's me when I'm playing Valorant, and like the concentration is real.
Yeah. Can I get any closer to the screen?
Yeah.
Where is that motherfucker? Get closer.
But also, if I'm playing Valorant and someone's shooting at me, I will literally do the whole trying to move out of the way.
My father-in-law, you give him a joypad in a driving game, he stares. We've sat there watching him, myself and Chris have watched him just go, and we've just gone, Tony, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? He's like, nothing. Because he don't realise he's doing it.
Yeah.
And he drives a lot. He drives for work as well, I know he does, and he's like...
Yeah.
You're not actually in a car right now, so just chill. But yeah, Unpacking and Terraria have been... I'm definitely going to play more of Unpacking. It's absolutely wonderful game.
Yeah, dude.
Tell me a little bit about Valorant.
It was just a very quick thing, because if you play or have played Fortnite or Overwatch, then you pretty much know what Valorant is.
I think scratch Fortnite, because I do know what Valorant is. I have played it. It's definitely somewhere between like a CS:GO and a Overwatch.
Yeah, so in Valorant they actually release a line of weapon skins called Valorant Go skins. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's just an FPS, but it's cutesy, and you can play with various different agents, and they all come with their own special abilities. It's generally a 5v5 match.
Yeah.
And it's the first team to get to 13 rounds successfully wins.
Can't these matches take quite a while?
During the match it's called plant the spike, basically, and the spike is a bomb. So obviously when one side are attacking and trying to plant the spike, the other side are defending, so you don't plant the spike, and then you switch and then you switch places halfway through the match. But yes, some of these matches can go on for bloody ever if you've got really, really good players who know the maps really well. I think Jack said he played
one for like 40 minutes the other day.
Yeah, you can get some insanely long matches.
And I was like, what? Is that why when I shout you don't come down for dinner?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But it's also, if you shout Jack for dinner, he's in the middle of a match. He can't just leave because he's in a match and he's going to let his teammates down. And
the good thing is, because I'm a gamer, I can appreciate it.
Exactly.
Dinner's in a microwave, it's going to be shit though.
But I get you. I understand.
I do, yeah, it's fine. Me and Karina both were just like, Jack. But I always just want him to respond. I'm like, Jack! And he's like, nothing. I go, Jack! And he'll go, I heard you.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you best told me the first time, then you heard me. Then I won't be shouting you the second time. Same with all the kids.
It's just, so if you've got a team who are really bloody good and know the map and know where to hide and know where to pick you off, basically, then matches can go on forever.
Cool.
But yeah, I really enjoy it. It's really good to get out some pent up aggression.
That's Warzone for me.
Yeah,
jump in, headshots.
Exactly. Yeah, this is Valorant for me.
So people moan about FPSs.
It's free to play. That's what I do want to say with Valorant, and
how do you make money?
That's the biggest draw. They make money by selling cosmetics.
Okay,
in the game.
as is per the usual with a lot of games nowadays. And you know what? I'm absolutely fine with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's entirely your choice as to whether you buy into it or not. You don't have to.
Yeah.
I have with Valorant because I've wanted some pretty gun skins. But
you want a rainbow set of.
I've literally got a rainbow Spectre, which is a gun. And when you kill someone and get a headshot, it does like this really cool unicorn animation thing. And,
oh god, that sounds like the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah.
Well, you've got to install it and play with me.
I'll have a go. I have played it.
That's another good thing with Valorant, obviously. Like with so many FPSs that I haven't played but have heard of, it's really good multiplayer with friends.
Okay,
so.
I'll give it another go. I'll have a go.
Yeah, do.
Yeah, I always have the odd half an hour in there. But Warzone, I've not been. I smash Warzone quite a bit, but I haven't played a lot recently.
I've never played any FPS other than
But,
Valorant.
I mean, as you know, I've played with Terry a fair bit.
Yeah.
Not recently, but we have played quite a lot. If we jump back like a year, I think we've played quite a lot then.
Yeah, I seem to remember it being a little while ago.
And we've had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
Terry and myself are both relatively. I'm not saying we're good players, but we can play. Yeah, we can shoot. We're not stupid. We're not kids. We use our mature brains to try and win.
Speak to Terry, and he will tell you what I'm like on Valorant.
He's gonna say
I'm actually
just
very
amazing.
good.
There we go. You see,
I am.
There you go. There we go. That could be the one. So going off all that interesting gaming news, I'm going to do one more thing, and it's to do with Sony. So you guys are big PlayStation. You have been PlayStation games, haven't you? Yeah. And so PlayStation have created a new label. It's called PlayStation PC.
Okay.
And they're not making PCs, but they are porting over a lot of the PlayStation games over to PC.
Oh, that is really good. That's good.
Do you know, I think it's brilliant because I know it's going to piss a lot of PlayStation players off. Not yourself, but I've already spoken to one, and he's like, you can't have my PlayStation games because they're PlayStation games. And I'm like, don't be a snob. I was like, the fact is that there are people out there who might have bought an Xbox, or they only buy PC.
Now you see, if it's PlayStation to PC, I'm happy with that. If it's PlayStation to Xbox, that's like what? For me anyway. Because I see Xbox and PlayStation as the direct competition with each other when it comes to consoles.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think the Switch is equally there now.
Yeah.
Nintendo have that because they've gone from being cutesy and to be honest, I think the Wii is one of the best consoles ever released. But I think they've gone from that cutesy to hang on a minute. We can put a lot of these games on our Switch because people might want to be taking it to work, or they might be going on a train or a bus or whatever, or even in bed. You know, they might be sitting in bed playing or on the settee.
I'm a PC gamer. I'm really happy with this news.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I think it's really good that they've turned around. But I think it clearly it's a financial thing.
PS exclusives, like The Last of Us, for example, I'll be able to get that on PC.
Yes.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
I am really happy with
because,
that.
I would really like to play the Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to buy a PlayStation.
No.
And I think Sony might have only just realised that.
Yeah.
That I will not buy a PlayStation, but maybe I'd spend £30 on Spider-Man for PC, which would play perfectly fine, and I'd be perfectly happy with that. It's interesting, and I'm looking forward to see what happens with that.
Yeah, definitely.
I like exclusives, but not when they take the piss. This is where I'm a bit controversial with the Bethesda thing, because obviously Microsoft bought Bethesda, which includes a lot of big titles, and they turned around and said that the next Oblivion game might not be coming out on PlayStation.
Okay.
Which is quite a biggie. Quite a big thing to say, but let's be honest, PlayStation do that shit. Sony do all that shit all the time, keeping games to themselves. And if another company does it, you can't complain about it. You can only hope it will get better.
Yeah.
Onto a little bit of film stuff. The new Buzz Lightyear trailer for his origin story is absolutely amazing. If you get a chance to watch the trailer, watch it. I
still haven't seen, but I definitely will.
Oh, it's so good. It's just this like little spunky Buzz Lightyear.
Is it going to be like a prequel to Toy Story?
Yeah, it's an origin story for Buzz Lightyear. Yeah. So it looks really interesting. Quite looking forward to that. Yeah. Although apparently they've already done. There's already some sort of origin thing with Buzz Lightyear in one of the films, I believe, or something. So I don't know if it's going to match up, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Have you seen the film Dune yet?
I have not.
Right.
I've been trying to avoid it, to be perfectly honest. And it's for very weird reasons. But basically,
I definitely need to hear one of them.
It's a favourite of my ex's.
And what, the film?
Yes.
Okay, right. Forget the old film. The old film was
He's a massive fan of the old film and the book, and he obviously knew that it was being remade and released this year. And when we were together, it was all he talked about a lot, and he wanted to take me to see it, and yada yada yada.
Right,
and the reason why I am avoiding stuff about it is because we broke up, and I'm still kind of hurting over that. And
that's fair enough.
yeah.
I understand. But I will say one thing: is that the old film, right? And if you ever communicate with him again, tell him the old film was shit.
No, because no.
It is shit. It is widely recognised.
Because that's not going to be in my best interest of getting him back, really.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
No,
Well, you can just
to be honest, I don't want him back because he's a knobhead. But
tell him you had a conversation with someone and he says that Dune's shit.
yeah.
That's
My
the way
mate
to go.
says.
Exactly, Dune's shit, and it's quite it's quite a popular thought, even with people that are very experienced film critics, etc. They often look at Dune and just go, you know what, it's not the best.
Yeah.
It's easy to look at older films and go, oh, it's really good, and it was a product of its time. But Dune, it was.
I don't know how he feels about the film personally. I just know that he said it was based on a book, and he absolutely loves the book. So...
The book is also terrible because it's very, very difficult to read.
Okay.
In terms of they throw you in with a lot of big words and everything else.
So you've got to be intelligent then.
I think you've got to be determined to try and get your head around it.
It is like reading a George R. Martin novel, seriously. Like Game of Thrones. Have you ever read Game of Thrones?
I've read a lot of the first book, but then I think I started to watch the programme and then just put the book down.
So George Martin's writing style is very intense and very descriptive.
Right, which I don't mind. But if I pick up a book, and I'm sorry, but if I'm not gripped by the first chapter or two, I tend to fall off it, but that's just a bad habit of mine.
Yeah.
June the movie is stunning, and it is a lot better than the original movie. They do a lot of things a lot better. The cast is good.
You've seen it?
Yes,
Yeah.
from Jason Momoa to the lead young lad who's in it to
I like some Momoa.
To don't cling on to him too much.
Spoiler alert.
Something might happen to him, but he also shaves all his beard off as well.
No, well, actually, that's okay. It's still
it's got a good face.
Momoa.
It's got a good face. He's matured because if you remember, he was in Stargate Atlantis, and he looked like a bit of a skinny
he was
guy.
in
But now
Khal
he's a lot.
Drogo in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, well, my reference point has to be Atlantis because it was quite a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
And he's matured, and I think without his beard. Hang
on. Wasn't he in Baywatch?
I want to say yes. Yes, wasn't he in the film Baywatch that came out recently?
I don't know. I've got to have a very quick research of this now.
Yeah, but the cast is just solid. It's really good. Yeah. The effects are great. The great big massive worm things look fantastic.
Okay.
People are moaning like normal, but it's a very, very good.
Yeah, he was in Baywatch.
Yeah, we spoke about the Uncharted film
he was
trailer with Tom
in
Holland.
The drama series Baywatch Hawaii.
I missed that. I went off, I think, soon as Pamela Anderson went. So, Uncharted, the game, has got a film coming out. It's got Tom Holland as Nathan Drake.
Yeah,
I love Tom Holland. He's my favourite.
We spoke about this, didn't we?
Yeah, so he's going to be a young Nathan Drake. And
it's
I'm
so
perfectly
weird
fine.
because I actually rate him as an actor.
He's great.
But
nice
we
guy
were
as well.
both saying, when it comes to actually being Nathan Drake, though.
Yes, it's definitely an interesting choice. But hopefully it works out fine, and maybe there'll be several films and he'll mature and be the Nathan Drake that we love from the games.
Yeah,
maybe.
he is still quite a young actor. So.
He is. He's like 12 or something. something like that. Right. We are jumping now back into our Back in Time section. Our news section has covered, believe it or not, over half an hour, which I didn't think it would, but it's good because it's great. It's fantastic. And we are going to our selected month and year. Sam, tell me what it is.
What? What am I doing? What?
You are going to tell me, I don't know what happened there, you're going to tell me the year and month.
Oh, yeah. You asked me to pick. And I picked something right, Graham. I went with September 2001.
Okay, September 2001. Now, it's an interesting month, isn't it?
For the obvious reason. But that is why I picked it. Because obviously that month was dominated by that obvious reason. For those who don't know, 9/11. And it just got me thinking to what else was happening that month. Before and after 9/11.
Yeah, so let's mention very. I think we should
Also,
mention September the 11th.
well, that's the other reason for bringing it up. It's actually recently been the 20th anniversary of 9/11.
Yeah, it was, wasn't
and
it?
that's
Was it this year? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
And that's there's a Netflix documentary about it as well at the moment, and I watched that not too long ago. And yeah, I've just had 9/11 stuck in my head quite a bit this moment.
So I'll read out a very small description of what happened September the 11th. Approximately 2,977 victims are killed or fatally injured in the attacks at the World Trade Center in New York, the Pentagon in Arlington County, Virginia, and in rural Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where a plane went to the ground on that one. So the American Airlines Flight 11 and United Airlines Flight 175 are hijacked and crash into the World Trade Center's Twin Towers. The American Airlines Flight 77 is hijacked and crashes into the Pentagon.
We're not going to get into any conspiracy theories for this.
Definitely going to brush them, but I don't think we'll dig into them.
Brush
Airlines,
them if you want.
Yeah. A United Airlines flight, you can't ignore them. Flight 93 is hijacked and crashes into grassland in Shanksville as a result of passengers fighting to regain control of the airplane. The World Trade Centers, they both collapse as a result of the crashes. Irregardless of what anyone says about September 11 and America and the Middle East or whatever, the fact is that there were nearly 3,000 people are killed, or killed or fatally injured. What? That's killed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, it's a weird wording, that one. But at the end of the day, a lot of people died that day. So whether you think that it was done by a bunch of people that live in tents or caves in, wherever they were living, Afghanistan, or whether it was orchestrated by a very rich and powerful country that wanted to gain an advantage over an area,
America,
whatever. America. Well, it would have just been America. I imagine it would have as well. But I mean, irregardless of any of that, people died, and it was a massive tragedy, probably one of the biggest of recent years.
It was, and it absolutely dominates that year, let alone that month.
Yeah, so we were trying to look up news articles for 2001 September, and it's like September 2001 news. Forget it.
Yeah,
Forget trying to find anything else.
We're like several pages deep into Google before.
Yes, we ended up landing on Wikipedia and finding something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, conspiracy theory wise, it's the interesting one. I won't tell you what I personally think, but I will say that digging into it is very interesting. It brings up a lot. There's too many coincidences in regards to things like staff members not being at work, massive insurance policies being taken out, World Trade Center 7. See, the two trade centers, you need to forget those for a minute. Put them to the side. Let's just say that they fell down.
The World Trade Center area was
because the World Trade Center. Yeah, the World Trade Center area. It's a lot of buildings.
Yeah, you've got the two towers, haven't you? You've got World Tower 1.
Yeah, that's 1 and 2.
And World Tower 2, and then you've got World Trade Center 7, 8, God knows what.
It's 7 which we need to look at because that's the one that basically pancaked itself and collapsed exactly as a demolished building collapsed.
Yeah.
There's not one professional demolition expert engineer that's turned around and said, "Yeah, that's natural. I just fell down because that was a bit because that building did get a bit of damage and it was partially on fire, but in no way on this
it wouldn't have structurally collapsed
like that."
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No way, because for that to happen, it would mean that all the strong points of a building, they're all designed there to hold it up, obviously. Now all these points, they need to be basically blown at once, and that takes weeks to set up. So it was all basically the internal structure would have been demolished, and then the outside building just falls down. And I'm sorry, but every time someone says to me, no country or company would ever do that, I'm like, go and look at a few videos of World Trade 7 and come back and talk to me after that and tell me what you think. Every single one of those people has come back and just gone, okay, I'll look at it differently.
Yeah, exactly.
And
There's too much going on. Too many coincidences. Too many situations and circumstances that means this is not just a cut and dry terror attack.
Yeah, there was one other thing that got me as well. The policy that they have. So if, obviously, the American people, every country controls their airspace. Now, if you have flights that get out of control, you can't communicate with them. They're heading towards specific areas. The military have to shoot them down.
Yeah.
Simple as that. So they had...
Yeah, they actually gave this order on the day.
No, they can't, because that particular area wasn't the flights that the planes that would have intercepted. It's like they were off that day. They weren't able to do it that day.
No, this was afterwards. This is something I watched on the documentary I mentioned earlier on Netflix.
Yeah, or was it a separate incident?
Yeah, this was after the attacks. Okay. So the attacks happened, and one of the first orders apparently the government issued in the US was to ground all flights in the country, and any flight that did not ground would not, contact with air travel. They were ordered to be shot out of the sky. Right. And that's their own flights. That's their own planes.
Right.
That's what I heard anyway. But that was afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, a common claim among conspiracy theories is that the North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD, issued a stand-down order or deliberately scrambled fighters late to allow the hijacked planes to reach their targets without interference. Yeah. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, billions of dollars on an air defense, and on this particular occasion, they were like, "Yeah, I'm just
go
smashing.
Just go take a hike, make a coffee.
I'm smashing some Halo right now."
Yeah, exactly. I'm on flight sim, mate.
Yeah. On 9/11, only 14 fighter jets were on alert in the contiguous 48 states. So that's the landlocked states, not like Hawaii and what have you. And it's just like, what's going on? It's just an absolute cock up. There's loads of bits like that. But it's too much. When there's all these little bits that you put together, it's like there's something dodgy. But like I say, I always say, you still can't take away from the fact that there was a lot of people died, and I don't think we'll ever know the truth. No. More importantly, though, September the 1st, Nakai, the first captive orca, was born as a result of artificial insemination. All I see I see a killer whale was raped and gave birth. That's all I see.
That's one way of putting it. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what? Oh, the poor thing. It
was raped, but it wasn't raped by its own kind.
Oh, no, an alien.
It was by us.
Imagine being at home and some giant frogs come in your house.
Oh my God.
Sort you out, and then you give birth and just be like, oh wait, this is one of mine. You raped me with my own kind. September the 3rd in Belfast. What happens there? I'm not interested in that. September the 4th, Tokyo Disney Sea opens to the public as part of the Tokyo Disney Resort in a really weird word, Chiba, Japan. So we've got that happening. Trying to find stuff that's interesting.
Yeah, there wasn't much that month. Particularly not after 9/11.
September the 9th, we've got suicide.
Actually, I did read about quite a big terror. I think it was a terror attack, but it was a mass shooting anyway. It was in Switzerland.
That was after,
and it was after 9/11.
We'll get there in a second. I think we'll find it. September the 10th, here's a good one. Donald Rumsfeld gives a speech regarding a $2.3 trillion in Pentagon spending that cannot be accounted for.
Oh my God.
He identifies the Pentagon bureaucracy as the biggest threat to America. So they reckon they say a plane hit the Pentagon. However, no plane was found there. They say it was a massive plane hit the Pentagon, but the wreckage says otherwise, because it's not there.
Something definitely hit the Pentagon, though.
The area that it hit, apparently, was to do with their finances. It's the same with World Trade Center 7. They had records that weren't kept anywhere else. Because 2000, digital records might have not been a big importance. Or if they had them, maybe they were just kept in a separate part of the building. Like, if there's a fire there, we've got them there, that sort of thing. So, yeah, that's convenient. Oh, I didn't realise this was so close. Can you remember the name Charles Ingram?
Yes.
Apparently wins $1 million on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but the prize is cancelled after he's accused of cheating.
Yeah, because he was
someone
doing
was,
the
like,
coughing thing, wasn't it? Someone in the audience was coughing.
Farting or something, in the audience. They were like, not that one.
Yeah, someone coughed when Chris, the presenter, read...
Chris Tarrant?
Yeah, when he said the right answer, basically. Someone would go...
And they were like texting on the phone and shit, weren't they?
Not texting on the phone, but yeah.
They must have been like...
They can't, it's a contestant.
And then someone Googles it. No, what about the person in the audience?
Yeah, someone's Googling it. What, in 2001?
Yeah, it was a thing. No, maybe not Google, but there was certainly ways to like look up, because those questions are very generic.
Some of them were quite hard. I remember some of them being quite hard.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I don't remember being able to Google as sufficiently then as you can now.
No, not as good, but you could definitely find facts on the internet. So September the 14th, that's something to do with September the 11th.
Anything after 9/11 is...
The New York Stock Exchange reopens for trading after the September 11th attack, so they had 6 days off. I guess that was good for them, because normally they're there going like that, aren't they? Like, and then banging buttons and shaking stuff.
Yep.
Sell.
Yep.
That kind of stuff. Anthrax attacks. I just picture a little...
I'm thinking of
like
of the band.
Letters to do with where did they send them to? To ABC News, CBS News, NBC News, New York Post. What are you doing? And the National Enquirer. 22 people are exposed, and 5 people died from that. I didn't realise. Here's me taking a piss, and people died. September the 27th, it was I don't know if you pronounce it Zug, but that's how English people would say it. Zug massacre in Switzerland. Friedrich Lebach, I hate foreign names, I can never say them. He shoots 18 citizens, killing 14, then himself, which was convenient because someone was going to beat the shit out of him at some point. News-wise...
Was that shooting a terror attack?
It doesn't say.
No.
But if I click the article...
Mass shooting.
I'm looking. He looks like a right dickhead who did it as well. He looks like a Chuckle Brother. He had several failed marriages to women from the Dominican Republic.
God.
He just kept going. Paranoid personality disorder and alcoholism. I think he was just a dick. He just went on one.
Yeah.
Right, what's next in our order? So we've had a look at our news. So our news is our order's all messed up now, isn't it? We're going to look at the films which came out. So the month that you picked, and sometimes you get a month, July, 1996, and the films are just bangers. like literally 10 films.
However,
bang, 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 bang.
for this particular month of this particular year,
would you like to mention
they were absolutely shocking.
The main film.
So the main one we pulled up that was released in September 2001 was Zoolander. Which, have you seen Zoolander? No.
I've seen Zoolander, but I refused to watch it again because it was terrible. It was like good, but not my sort of film.
Mm-hmm.
Like Michael McIntyre, like some people find him really funny, but I think he's a dick. It's that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, Michael May's so brilliant, but I really can't get in with him. So Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson, Christine Taylor, Will Ferrell, Mila Jovovich, David Duchovny, solid cast. However, like I'm not the biggest Ben Stiller fan apart from Night in the Museum. I think those films are really good.
Apparently, when it was released, it was not criticised, but kind of penned in as being released just at the worst fucking time possible, basically. So it was released on September 28th, I think.
2 weeks after.
Yeah, 2 weeks after 9/11, where no one is really thinking about movies at the time.
Exactly. No one's like, let's go and laugh at some weird fashion thing set in New York.
Yeah.
But
that wasn't the movie's fault. The movie was always going to be scheduled for release then.
Of course.
And yeah, it was kind of it's known as having a degree of bad luck now because of when it was released and then all that. But I think it still did pretty well, didn't it? Considering.
At what point can you release a film and it be acceptable after something?
Yeah,
happens?
exactly.
At what point can you make a joke? Oh, too soon. The film isn't about planes crashing into buildings.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
At the end of the day, 2 weeks later, people are starting to recover. Like psychologically, they're starting to probably trying to, especially those ones that directly.
It's also films that show, because if you say this was based in New York, did it actually show the World Trade Centers in the film?
Are you like me? You know, when you watch a film and you see them, you go, "There they are."
Yeah.
You say to your kids, "Look, they were real."
Yeah.
They were there.
God, but if that movie did show the World Trade Towers,
yeah.
then,
IMDb got it at 6.5 out of 10, which is respectable, I think, as a score. Rotten Tomatoes, there's 140 what they consider like professional reviews.
Yeah.
They gave it 64%, which would match up with the IMDb score. However, the audience score was something different because people liked it more than the critics, and they gave it 80%, which an 8 out of 10, 80%. I'd say that's pretty decent.
Yeah, I've got quite a few
funny.
friends that really enjoy it.
It is funny.
Yeah.
It's about what it is. It's about a fashion model, male fashion model in New York. They take the piss out of the New York, like in a satirical sort of way. The fashion community is so upbeat and stupid, and he basically falls on bad times, and he ends up falling out with another male model, and it goes on from there.
Yeah.
It's not the worst film in the world, but just not
It's
really
not the best.
not my sort of comedy. One bit of trivia that we found for... Oh, wait. So the one thing I should mention is the budget was 28 million and they made 60 million. So they got their money back. That's a good thing. There are some films where it's like, oh, you only made an extra couple of mil. That's actually a waste of time. But often they're really good films. Now, people look at, I love that film, but when they released, they failed. There was a brilliant bit of trivia that we found for this film, and that's that there was a goat. So the original theatrical version had an orgy scene, and there was a goat in it. But that was took out for the VHS Blu-ray release.
The VHS release.
Why it was acceptable? There probably was at that time. There wasn't there. There was obviously an acceptable reason to keep the goat in at the theatre, but for home, no goat. Sorry, just in case the kids saw it, because that'd be like, why is there a goat in the orgy scene, Dad? I don't know. Why are you watching this film? I think it would be a bit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Robert Ebert, whatever his name is, a well-renowned film critic, added to some degree Zoolander was a victim of bad timing, like you mentioned earlier.
Yes, that was a victim of bad timing.
He found some of the parts of the film funny, gave it a 1 out of 4. According to Stiller, though, years later in private, he admitted he changed his mind. He thought the film was funny and apologised for going overboard. I'm assuming he was a reactionary and sort of going, oh my god, you can't have this film out at this time, etc, etc, etc. So your choice was Zoolander, a brilliant choice, but also the only really real choice. I want to mention the Barbie and the Nutcracker was released, and now you laughed at this
I did.
when I mentioned
it. I want to review that.
But the Barbie films in my house are loved by 2 of my daughters, and I have to give it some respect. Is Nutcracker the best? No, maybe 12 Dancing Princesses is, which I've seen several, which I may have seen several dozen times, because that's how it works when you
I'm
don't
the
have
same.
YouTube.
I'm the same, but with the Tinkerbell films. Like, there's a lot of Tinkerbell films now, and I know quite a few of them.
They do like the Tinkerbell films as well.
Yeah.
But the Barbie definitely are better, and they are terrible. The other film, which me and Karina actually watched this film.
When?
It's a Michael Douglas film with Sean Bean, Brittany Murphy, Famke Janssen of X-Men fame.
Yep.
She played the fire person, Phoenix.
She played
she
Jean
morphs
Grey.
into Phoenix.
She played Jean Grey. Yeah.
Jean Grey.
In
she
the
morphs into the
first
Phoenix.
in the first trilogy of the X-Men films.
The original. Yeah.
I actually
think. Is brilliant.
Yeah, I actually think she did a phenomenal job of it as well. I really liked her character in that.
But the cast as a whole holds the X-Men together. As a general, all the cast I think are brilliant.
Oh god, yeah, definitely.
So the other film worth mentioning for this pathetic month, is it's called Don't Say a Word. like I said, Michael Douglas, Sean Bean, Brittany Murphy, Famke Janssen. So the storyline: a group of thieves steal a rare gem.
Is it Famke Janssen? Famke.
Famke? I don't care.
Yeah.
A group of thieves steal a rack. It's one of those. It's like a Scandinavian name,
it is.
which Janssen. It's probably
Even
Janssen,
though she
Famke,
sounds
Famke.
very American.
She does, 100%. It might just be their parents came over or something. A group of thieves steal a rare gem, but in the process of escaping, two of the men double cross the leader and steal the gem and basically go off with this gem. He gets killed, and his daughter holds the secret to where the gem is. And Michael Douglas plays a psychologist who's treating this young lady, Brittany Murphy. And Michael Douglas's daughter gets kidnapped. And Michael Douglas is given the ultimatum of figuring out where the gem is.
Michael Douglas turns into Liam Neeson.
And I tell you what, I watched the film and I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think it's not bad.
Yeah.
But I think it was a product of its time.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stylization of the film is 100% late 90s, early 2000s.
I was going to say, is it aged well?
I think it's aged just about right. As a point, because I watched it and didn't feel bothered by it. There was a really bit funny where someone was talking, but then there was these flames that were put on the bottom, and then it was and I was like, they didn't need that.
Yeah.
They didn't need that, but it was in there anyway. Some bright spark was like, "Hey man, should we put those flames in?" And he was like, "Yeah, of course, yeah, let's do it." IMDb 6.3 out of 10, so it actually was only just under Zoolander. Now, the Rotten Tomato reviews from the professional sort of critics were only 24%. Clearly, they were not a fan. Audience, however, was 49%, so they liked it. So people that watched it and decided to review it, like me, enjoyed it a lot more than, like I say, but it wasn't brilliant.
Critics, yeah.
It wasn't brilliant. If someone said to me rate it, I'd easily sit it at a 5 out of 10.
Being a professional film critic, I'm sorry, but it's a job that's just shrouded in bollocks.
It is, because a lot of them are paid off and have
exactly.
I appreciate the layman's review more than the professional most of the time.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say about Don't Say a Word is if it wasn't for Michael Douglas and Sean Bean, the film would have failed. Sean Bean is a fantastic bad guy. Michael Douglas is a great main protagonist.
Sean Bean always plays the British bad guy really well.
I know what you're thinking. Did he die? Spoiler, yes. I'm allowed to do a spoiler on a film this old. He did die, and he died really well.
That was one of my best death scenes ever, and I do a lot.
I think the GoldenEye death might have been the best, where he fell down into that big sort of.
He was a bad guy in one of the National Treasure movies.
Oh, he was,
and I really liked that as well. I really loved that. I really liked that film. So
solid film.
Yeah.
He died. He was a mass grave, and he was in basically a big hole, and he was in this hole trying to get out the hole, but something happened, and the sides of this grave that were I would say up to 10 feet tall collapsed, and just he was running, and it kind of buried him as he was brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant death. But as for films, that's all we've got. We've got a spoof on New York fashion, an action film, and Barbie. We've covered the whole gamut of films. You don't need anything else for that month. Couple of games to mention.
There were a lot of other films that were released that month that I saw on a list, but we didn't know any of them, did we?
I recognised a couple, but they weren't worth mentioning because they were just all shit.
Yeah. Anyway.
A couple of games. One that you might like on here. I want to mention a couple of these games I haven't played, so I can't give you too much experience. But I want to mention a game called Ico that came out PlayStation 2. Protagonist, young boy named Ico, who was born with horns. Personally, I would have chucked him in a bin, but they actually made a game out of him. So his village considers him a bad omen. Told you, chuck him in the bin. Warriors lock him away in an abandoned fortress. During his explorations of the fortress, Ico encounters Yoda. I'm sorry, that's Yoda, the daughter of the castle's queen. So it's I watched a few videos of this, and I've seen it, and it looks amazing. It's Ico is recognised as being one of the aesthetically beautiful and brilliant games of its time, even to the point where people will play it because it carries well. Like a lot of games you play now from PS2 era, and you're just like, it's really crap. Because it's when they were forcing a lot of 3D and it doesn't work very well. But Ico is beautiful, and I would recommend having a look at a video of Ico because it is stunning. But the game which is the one for me would be Super Monkey Ball. Now, Super Monkey Ball on GameCube was published by Sega, released to positive reviews with aggregated scores of 87 on Metacritic. Now, if you don't know what Monkey Ball is, you're a monkey and you're in a ball, believe it or not, and you roll around. And you have this course, or you do races. They do brilliant multiplayer, very Nintendo, Sega kind of colourful, easy to play. It's like any kid could pick this up and play it. I think one of them you move the ball like one analog stick, the other one moves the actual track. But I think the controls vary. It's if you've ever played like Marble Madness and stuff like that, this game you'll pick it up. It's so much fun. There's bananas to collect, and I think we actually own it. I asked Jack, I was like, "Do we own it?" I think he says, "Yeah, we either own it on Wii or GameCube." So we do have a GameCube here that works, which is brilliant. Just amazing. Super cool. Actually, super colourful, super fun. I think that's one of the pinnacles of this September release. But the third game, which was worth mentioning, was Silent Hill 2.
Yes.
Have you played the Silent Hill games?
I have not beyond the first 10 minutes of the first game. And
I played
I absolutely shat my cakes in those first 10 minutes, I think, and just didn't go back.
The way I'd see it is, if you've played the old school Resident Evil games, then you could play Silent Hill and relate to the way it all comes
Yes,
across.
absolutely. I did play Resident Evil 1, 2 and 3 when they were first released. So yeah, and they are very similar in terms of style.
Do you know the story about me and Karina playing Resident Evil 2?
No.
Right, you're going to get it. So when we were younger, we would play computer games together, and it was in my bedroom, and can you remember those fold-away chairs? Very 90s. It was bright red. This chair it's like a fold-away one, crap seat, just a tubular frame, not very strong. So there's a very good scene in Resident Evil 2, and most people remember it. You're walking down this corridor. I think it's near I want to say it's near a library, but I could be wrong. Or it's like the city hall, something like that. And what happens is the zombies bust through the window.
Yes.
As you're walking through, they're like, "Bah!" Like that. They just jump out at you. I actually jumped. I don't jump very often, but I jumped, and I kind of must have reached a foot or so. Landed on my chair and broke my chair.
Fucking hell.
That I'd had for years.
You jumped that high, basically.
I'd like, whoa, and I'd thumped on it. It must have been weak or something, and it just bust my chair in
Did
there.
you go flying?
I don't think I went flying. I think I just bust it and then stood up and was like, I broke my chair. And there was a crack in the chair. I remember they didn't like fully knacker it up. There was a crack in it. I think it had like tape on it.
You see, this could be the fallout from playing horror games.
Yeah.
It is.
Chairs demolished all over the country. Worldwide demolition of chairs
or,
due to Resident Evil 2.
Fucking mice and controllers through monitors because you're scared.
Yeah. I've never thrown any like.
No.
Like,
if I'm playing Valorant
device.
and I lose or I'm getting frustrated, I slam my mouse, and
You're gonna break it.
This is something that's new, and Terry pointed out.
That you get angry and slam your mouth.
Yeah, but it's something I don't realise I'm doing. And he's like, when you get frustrated, you go. I'm like, shit.
What was it? There was something that I played, and I would swear, and I would get very aggressive at the piece. I can't remember what it was. I'd be like, fucking hell. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
The kids might remember. I think it was that unimportant and uninteresting that it just fell out of my head. So Silent Hill 2 is often considered to be one of the greatest horror games ever made and among the greatest video games of all time, as well as a key example of video games as an art form.
That's good.
The game was followed by Silent Hill 3 in 2003. Ratings...
It's good, but I wouldn't say it was the best. Not at all.
Well, I think maybe you have to thoroughly play it to maybe appreciate
Possibly,
it.
but I mean, if you're going to put it up as a franchise against Resident Evil, for example, Resident Evil shits all over it.
I think it's like comparing Street Fighter to Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Both of them are very, very similar, but also quite different. Yeah. Jumping on to music now. You're going to cover.
We got really excited about this, didn't we? Because there's some crackers.
Because we're old and we love music.
Yeah, but you love shit music.
I love like skillful, talented, quality music, and you like people just smashing guitars on the floor, don't you? And going like that, and that's to me, it's not music.
I'd say between us we have a broad taste.
Definitely run through. I need to emphasise just one point. I do like a lot of different music.
Yeah. Well, we both do. Like, I'm not just fully into metal and rock.
I will listen to, if someone's like, yo, can I listen to some metal music? I'll be like, yeah, as long as it's not shit metal music. Because there's like quality, same with anything, there's like quality hip hop or rap, but there's also shit hip hop or rap, which I won't listen to. But if you want to just mention maybe the top 10 and creep into the 20s. Now this is from September the 2nd, 2001.
Yeah,
now, the thing about music charts,
UK official charts.
Yeah, the thing about music charts is you could easily go from talking about the beginning of the month to the end of the month, and they can be different. But we're going to look at the beginning of September 2001 and see if we remember any of these songs.
Yeah, so for September the 2nd of that year, Blue were number 1 with Too Close, and I don't remember it at all.
I don't remember Too Close. I think if I heard it, I'm not going to listen to these songs right now. Now, what we could have done is have a very quick go on YouTube and listen to each one and go, oh, I love that one. But we're just going to go off what significantly.
Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna list off the top 10 basically of the UK charts.
And we'll just very quick. I think mention each one.
So
and I think we'll very quickly go.
Yeah.
Banger.
Yeah. So number 1 was Too Close by Blue.
Don't remember it off the top of my head.
It either.
I do remember a lot of Blue songs, but not that
Number 2 was Let's Dance by Five.
Now, Five are an amazing shitty boy band. And,
amazing shitty boy band is where it's at.
And I do remember that song, and it is a good song.
I don't remember that song, but I do remember a couple of Five songs. Other Five songs.
Makes you get down.
That's it, exactly. And I remember enjoying them at the time.
And you're going, 1, 2.
And they weren't like Boyzone or Take That. So in terms of boy bands, that made them more popular for me. Because they weren't the normal biggie boy bands.
You know what? They were a bit more aggressive.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So number 3 was "Follow Me" by Uncle Kracker, which
Follow Me.
Everything is alright. Yeah, I love that song.
Cheesy is out. I think he brought one other song out, and then we never seen him again. But "Follow Me" by Uncle Kracker, I'm gonna say banger.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah. Number 4 was "Stuck in the Middle" by Louise.
I know there's a few Louise songs out there that were okay, but this one doesn't. No.
Number 5 was "Take My Breath Away" by Emma Bunton. So our Baby Spice when she went solo.
I love Baby Spice.
Yeah, I am afraid I don't either. Right, the next one actually is a banger.
So how much time we got left?
Number 6 is 21 Seconds.
Just 21 seconds to
21 seconds to go by So Solid Crew.
I got 21 seconds to go.
Yeah, so banger in my opinion.
Absolute banger.
Yeah, as you were saying before we actually recorded, we were talking about this list earlier, and you said, if you mention the song 21 Seconds to your friends, if they don't instantly go 21 seconds to go, then it's just a waste of time. They don't deserve to be in your life.
Who are they?
By So Solid Crew. So number 7 was "Let Me Blow Your Mind."
I do remember this song, and I do remember it being a decent song. So it was EVE, or was it EVE or Eve? I can't remember. I think it was EVE, as she liked to be called.
Eve featuring Gwen Stefani, but I'm going with Eve because that's how it reads to me. It's Eve.
Yeah, but when she was talking about herself, like she was rapping, she'd often call herself EVE. I'm sure she did. Yeah. "Let Me Blow Your Mind" is another banger, but not quite as big as the banger as 21 Seconds.
Number 8 was "Take Me Home" by Sophie Ellis Bextor.
Well, the question is, did they wear a tie like Richard Gere? Because if he didn't, then all the rest of the songs were average.
Yeah.
But,
I actually,
Crying at a Discotheque.
I do remember this song actually very vaguely.
I think I do actually.
I think it was okay. I think it was okay.
Yeah.
Nothing to shout about. Number 9 was "Turn Off the Light" by Nelly Furtado.
Nelly Furtado did have some good songs out, but I don't remember this one.
I don't either.
But I guarantee if I heard it, I'd go, oh yeah.
Number 10 was "Little L" by Jamiroquai.
I don't remember. clearly we all know that Jamiroquai had some very good tracks out, even though I argue that a lot of them are very similar and blended.
They are similar, but that's his style, I think, as an artist.
Of course.
I don't remember that track, but I do actually quite like Jamiroquai, so...
I want to say that this was at the end of Jamiroquai's career.
It's possible, because I've not seen anything from him in at least the last 10 years.
He was late 90s. Jamiroquai was late 90s.
So coming out of the top 10 and going a little bit further into the list, because there are some absolute bangers as well.
Couple of the top 10. 20,
yeah, so number 11 was Castles in the Sky by Ian Van Dahl.
Amazing.
If at that time you were into your trance and dance music, that tune was everywhere. I enjoyed it. For as much as I love,
it might be.
For as much as I love my metal and heavy rock, I do have an appreciation for many music genres, and I love trance and dance as well. So, and it was
good. As always said, good music is good music, and it will transcend over different genres.
Absolutely.
Castles in the Sky could be the best song on this list.
Possibly. Number 12, Atomic Kitten released their version of Eternal Flame.
Of course, it was their return. It was their version.
Yeah, I remember it being quite popular at the time. But then it's a good song. Whether it needed to be done again, I don't know, because the original, the original was perfectly fine and still is. But yeah, Love Is Key by The Charter, Ain't It Funny by Jennifer Lopez. That was at 17. Number 20 was Eternity, or The Road to Mandalay by Robbie Williams. At number 24 we had Bootylicious by Destiny's Child.
Yeah, so I mean, we could kind of go on and on with this list. I think there's a lot of good ones, but we're dragging it out. Definitely the top 10 was all over the place. But the thing is, a lot of these really decent songs that are in the higher numbers were, of course, in the top 10 like previous weeks.
But I'm going to throw in a couple of my own that I found in research as well.
Ignoring common UK charts and going on to ignoring the kind of the stereotypical UK pop charts.
Yeah, it's just a couple of bands, really, a few bands within the rock genre that had quite massive success and release in that year, in that month. Tenacious D, they released their self-titled album in the end of September of that year. So for anyone that has heard Tribute or Wonderboy or Fuckhead Gently, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
So we often get Tenacious D appear in our kitchen playlist.
So that album was released then. I'm a massive fan of Tool. They actually released Schism that month, and Schism is again up there as one of Tool's bigger hits.
Right.
And System of a Down, they released Chop Suey, the song.
Is that a song?
Yeah, I believe they released I think they released the album in the same month, but I couldn't find anything to confirm that, or I just didn't look into it. But yeah, they released Chop Suey, and again, any rock and metal fan know exactly what that song is and how much of a banger it is. So yeah, just wanted to mention them in the music.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's worth mentioning because they don't often hit the big mainstream charts because it was dominated by young 20s and teenage buyers.
You've got the UK official charts that are generally dominated by a lot of pop music. Yeah. And then you do have the rock charts, which are different, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think they you would also get hip hop charts as well.
Yeah.
Because they need their own chart to see what's doing well in their genre. Because if they didn't, it would just be a case of mixed up in the normal charts, and it wouldn't. I don't think it would be fair. It wouldn't be representative of how good they are.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Well, I think we've pretty much covered that month. I think despite it being not the best, I think we did all right. So big thanks for joining us today on this podcast. One second. We hope you've enjoyed dipping into the past September 2001. Let's be honest, crap for films, okay for games, great for music, and dominated by one world event that definitely wasn't an orca being born. big thanks to Sam, who I hope will join me again at some point.
Absolutely. I fully enjoyed this, actually. I fully enjoyed the research. And I think I enjoyed it because it was hard. Because, obviously that month was just so dominated by that one event. It was really good looking at what else was actually going on that month.
Yes, it was good to talk about it. And we don't subscribe 100% to any of the conspiracy theories, but we're open to what's going off.
We could have a whole other podcast episode, I think, on conspiracy theories with 9/11. But yeah,
like I say, big thanks, Sammy. Your research was invaluable, and it's been great to catch up and have a chat.
Thank you. You too.
So you lot listening, come and find us on Google Podcasts, Spotify, and of course YouTube. It's a goodbye from me,
and it's a goodbye from me.
And I'll give you a little wave. You can't see if you're listening to the audio. Goodbye.
Bye.